In this lesson, I want to introduce different methods for approaching a drawing, so different drawing techniques. And these can be used on their own or in combination. And these combination of different techniques, it's often a good approach, as we will see. So the first technique that I want to talk about is gesture drawing, and this is a very loose and fast approach. Often this is a technique with which you start a drawing or which you use to get down a lot of quick sketches in a short amount of time. And it's also great for warming up, which is why we'll continue after the really loose warming up with this more focused warming up. So for gesture drawings, it's great to practice drawing from the shoulder, and you can use rough measuring and basic geometric shapes like ovals and triangles and rectangles to block in what you see. And we've already learned about ovals, and there are a few more of these basic shapes. So let's take a look at them. So you know what a circle is. You can really draw it well by now. You know what an ellipse is. And then what we have too is rectangles. So you can practice your straight strokes with them. Sometimes they will look like this. And then we have these triangles. And of course, they can also come in all shapes and forms. So these are really your basic shapes. And you will encounter these over and over when you're trying to break down an object into its components. Then you will see that you will run into these basic shapes everywhere. And with gesture drawing, your general approach should be going from these general rough shapes to more specific shapes that won't look like these basic shapes, but they are based on them. That's why they're called basic shapes. So you will first build an understructure and then sort of put an outline and refine in a second step. And we'll look at that later. Right now, for the gesture drawing, they often have this initial looseness that you can tighten up later. And it's also hard to match this looseness with other drawing approaches, so it's really a great technique to have this kind of spontaneous drawing style. So let's do the first exercise with this gestural drawing style. So I've put together a few things that I'd like to draw, so mostly small things that I found around the house and in nature. So these different kinds of objects. And I will just take a little bit of time and draw them. And we also have a mug here because this is great to practice elliptical shapes. So I will set this down and I will actually start with the mug right here. And you want your gestural drawing to take around maybe 10 to 20 seconds, 30 seconds if you're taking longer. So you really want to do very, very quick drawing. And not really focus on any details, anything like that at all. So this is a finished gesture drawing. Let's just continue to the next one. This mushroom here, I think, will be a nice one. So this is sort of an ellipse, but not quite, sort of this bean shape. And then we have the stalk. Yeah, and that's our gesture drawing. So making a gesture drawing is often more about an idea than about a certain finished drawing. So the last one will be this nut. Let's see if I can put it so that I can actually see the underside, which will make for a more interesting drawing, I think. And I'm starting by imagining how a basic shape will fit in there, and then I'm drawing around that. and you can restate some lines and make them a bit more prominent if you want. You can also do a little bit of hatching to indicate where shadow areas are, but don't do too much of that. So this is a really intricate gesture drawing. This is really almost a very finished drawing. Okay, let's do another quick gesture drawing that's maybe not so easy to make sense of at first sight. And I just want to encourage you that you can get a quick gestural grasp of about any subject that you're drawing with these basic shapes. So remember, you're not in this for realism. You're just trying to get a quick grasp of your subject. And I'm probably going to stop talking now because drawing and talking at the same time makes it harder to get a nice drawing. So with this, I wanted to show you that gesture drawing, even of a complicated subject, doesn't have to take very long, and you still get a very sort of lifelike and flowing drawing out of this. For the next exercise, we will look at contour line drawing. And this is a technique that can be used to refine a rough drawing, like these gesture drawings we saw earlier. It can also be used on its own. And when we're talking about contour, in this case, we mean the outer contour of an object, as shown by an outline. And in realities, objects don't have an outline, so this is really an artistic invention. It's just the different contrasts between objects, between the object and the background, is what sort of makes the brain say, you know, when you want to draw this object, you can really just produce a line that will show the difference between the object itself and the background. And so, yeah, this line doesn't really exist anywhere. So this method of contour line drawing will help you to learn how to see in a different aspect than the last exercise did. So in addition to quick mark making, you will learn how to observe the angles and shapes and curves of your object. So you will sort of travel around the outline and then see where you need to make an angle and where you need to change direction. So when you apply this method, try to look at each object closely and travel along the outer contour and then simply draw what you see. Don't draw what you think you should see. Don't draw what you think this mushroom looks like, what you think a mug should look like, but simply draw all of the changes in direction that you can see. And you can use the help of an underdrawing if you have one, but you can also try and draw a contour line on its own. And again, I'll do just a very quick gestural drawing so that I have a little bit of a pointer where I need to place my contour lines. And I try to keep each line light. And you will also notice that I try to vary the pressure when I'm making my lines. So I don't try to do something like this, but I try to relieve the pressure when I'm ending the line so that I will get these nice, soft connections between my lines. So again, I'm adding a few of these very soft structural lines that I can see on my garlic, but not too many. And basically, I have my line drawing finished. So I'm bringing a bit more emphasis to these outer contour lines because I want them to stand out. And if you see a line in your drawing that's maybe a bit too harsh, when you're using pencil or colored pencil, you can always take it back a notch so that it isn't too prominent. Let's try and do a nice refined contour drawing of this ivy. And I'm not looking into correcting too many of these perspective and measurement mistakes that I probably made here in my first attempt at this gestural drawing. I just want to see if I can explore the contour of this ivy nicely. So focusing on what I can see, I'm sort of traveling with my eye along each of the contours. And I'm trying to leave out any non-necessary details. So even with slightly more complex subjects like this, you will see that it's possible to get a nice clean drawing. And I should have probably blotted out the pencil line a bit first, but I want to show you how you can refine the underdrawing without having to draw all of this again. Okay. And when doing these kind of drawings, focus on one aspect at a time and then really travel around what you see on your subject with your eyes. And try to keep your lines loose and also decisive. So remember the things that we learned when we were practicing basic strokes. So try to complete your lines in one stroke if possible. And you can also indicate depths a little bit by making lines that are in the background a little bit lighter and a little bit softer. If you found these short lessons useful, they are part of a longer video class called Sketching Fundamentals. This class is a foundational drawing class that will teach you basic sketching techniques. In this in-depth introduction, you will learn how to see like an artist, explore different drawing techniques, create quick sketches from observation, and learn how to become confident with your line work. I will show you how you can master basic drawing skills step by step, and we will take a look at materials, mark making, textures, understanding perspective and shadow, practice a lot so that you get visible results, and most importantly, you will learn how you can draw anything. The whole class has 8 hours of video and over 50 demonstrations. I hope you will join me for this class to explore sketching fundamentals and learn how to draw everything in nature with more confidence.